Welcome back to the Physics Friar and this series on the basics of Catholic morality. In the previous video, we talked about these three rules which are foundations to Catholic morality. And in this episode, we're going to talk about the first of those rules. Be who you are. Now, that brings up the question, who are you? Well, according to our faith, we are made in the image and likeness of God. And that fundamental belief grounds this rule of Catholic morality, to be who you are. So we interpret what it means to be made in the image and likeness of God in this fashion. We have an intellect, which means that we can reason, we can discern right from wrong, and we have free will. We have the gift to actually make choices on our own. We can learn how to use our intellect and free will by imitating Christ, who is both the perfect human, the human par excellence, and also the perfect image of God. So by imitating Jesus, we can live truly moral lives. Now, in your textbook, several different points follow from this belief in being made in the image and likeness of God. And you can read about all 7 there. I want to focus on the 4th one. We are responsible. If we have free will and we can reason between right and wrong, then it follows that we are responsible for our actions. But I want to point out that there are some factors that can reduce a person's responsibility. In effect, these factors limit our free will, or perhaps they limit our ability to use our intellect, our abilities to reason. Ignorance that's not our fault is one such factor. Being forced or compelled to do something that we know is wrong is another factor that reduces responsibility. Fear, you can imagine being afraid of the consequences if you do something or don't do something. Passions, which is an interesting point. You can think of a crime of passion, for example, when somebody murders somebody out of anger. And finally, habit. Again, we see this theme of habits in Catholic morality. And while habits like the virtues can help us to do the right thing when we do the right thing repeatedly, vices, which are the opposite of the virtues, or bad habits basically, can reduce our responsibility for the actions that we commit. It doesn't mean that those actions are still not wrong. It just means that we are less responsible for them. So it's all about you, right? Or is it really? It's also part of our belief as Catholics that we are fundamentally more than just individual beings. We are fundamentally social, and so an important part of being who we are is participating in society. And that brings me to the Church's social justice doctrine. Social justice is about how we relate to each other and how societies can be moral. Some important points from the text are the principle of subsidiarity, which basically means if a lower level can do it, then the upper level of government should keep out of it. So for example, if the state can do it, then the federal government should stay out of it. It's also a part of social justice doctrine that we should respect the government, but at the same time we need to work for the common good, the maximal good for the largest number of people, something along those lines. Finally, the point to emphasize is that we are essentially social. We're not just individual actors. We are, in our essence, related to other people. Other people, in a way, define who we are. You are made in the image and likeness of God, and I am made in the image and likeness of God. We are made in the image and likeness of God. That is who we are. Thanks for watching The Physics Friar.